All right, let's talk about something that gets everybody. How do you actually stay consistent, especially on those days when you really, really don't feel like it? Let's dive in.
I mean, you know the feeling, right? You've got this big dream, you're super motivated, but then the alarm goes off on a Tuesday morning and you just don't feel like it. We've all been there. You start a new project, maybe a new workout plan, and you are totally on fire. But then a few weeks later, that fire is kind of just gone. So what's the secret? What separates the people who actually finish from those who just start?
Okay, think of it this way. Motivation, that's what starts the engine. It's that exciting turn of the key. But consistency, well, that's the gas in the tank. That's what keeps the car moving, mile after mile, especially when the road gets bumpy and you feel like pulling over.
And that brings us to our first big idea, what I like to call the motivation trap. It's this belief that motivation is everything. But honestly, relying only on motivation, well, that's pretty much a guaranteed recipe for quitting.
I mean, think about it. Everyone wants success. Everyone wants to change for the better. We can all picture it, right? That promotion, feeling healthier, finally finishing that passion project. The wanting part? Oh, that's the easy part.
But here's the kicker. Only a few are actually consistent enough to make it happen. That massive gap between wanting something and actually getting it, that's filled with consistency. It's the boring, unsexy, day-in, day-out stuff that nobody posts on Instagram, but it's what builds the life you're dreaming of.
So let's get real. Let's talk about when you just don't feel it. We have to acknowledge the struggle of that daily grind. Those days when just showing up feels like the hardest thing in the world.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. Those days you're just tired. The alarm blares and your body feels like it's made of lead. And the absolute last thing on earth you want to do is that thing you swore to yourself you'd do.
And then there are the days when nobody claps for you. Crickets. You're grinding away, you're putting in the hours, but there's no praise, no one patting you on the back. It feels like you're just shouting into an empty room.
And this one might be the absolute worst. The days your progress just feels invisible. You swear you're doing everything right, but you look at the results, and nothing. It feels like all that effort is for nothing, just completely pointless.
But here's the truth. Consistency means doing it anyway. It's not because it's easy, because it's not. It's because it's necessary. This isn't about feeling motivated or inspired. It's about making a commitment to your future self, even when your present self is begging you to just stay on the couch and watch TV. So this leads to a really powerful way to reframe all this, understanding that there's growth happening in the silence. The most important progress is often completely unseen. Nobody can see it, maybe not even you.
Let me give you a metaphor. Think about planting a seed. Step 1, you water it every single day. Step 2, a week goes by and you see nothing, just dirt. Step 3, a whole month passes, still nothing. It would be so easy to just say forget it. But here's the magic, right? Underground, completely out of sight, those roots are growing deep, building a powerful foundation.
And that is exactly what's happening when you put in the work on those tough days. The foundation is being built where no one can see it. Every single small action, every time you show up when you don't want to, you're growing another root. It's not flashy, but you're building something strong enough to last.
And you know what? This mindset gives you a massive advantage. We'll call it the consistency advantage. It's all about realizing that persistence always beats perfection.
We all love this myth, right? The idea that successful people are just the most talented, that they're born with it. But the reality is so much better. It's that successful people are simply the most consistent. Success isn't about being a genius. It's about being the person who just refuses to stop showing up.
So what are the rules here? What does this actually look like? Well, you show up when everyone else quits. You repeat those small, maybe even boring habits every single day. And here's the big one. It's not about never failing. It's about never stopping. You just keep going.
Seriously, let that one sink in. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep going. Give yourself a break. It's okay to have an off day. It's okay to mess up. The goal isn't a perfect score. The goal is to just get back in the game tomorrow. That is the entire game. Okay, so this all leads us to the ultimate tool for success, which is discipline over motivation. If we know motivation is flaky and unreliable, what do we replace it with? Well, we build something much, much stronger.
And this really comes down to a choice between two types of people. You have dreamers who sit around and wait for motivation to strike, and then you have doers. And what do doers do? They don't wait, they build discipline.
So, what even is discipline?
Well, here's the best definition I've ever heard. Discipline is what shows up when motivation disappears. It's not about punishing yourself. Think of it as your professional self. It's the part of you that takes over when the emotional, motivation-driven part of you just wants to call it a day.
All right, so here's your action plan. It's super simple. Step 1, stop waiting for the perfect moment. Step 2, start right where you are. Step 3, just do what you can. Can't do a full-hour workout? Fine, just put on your shoes. Can't write a whole page? Just write one sentence. And step 4, trust that every single tiny effort is building something great.
You know, as we start to wrap this up, just remember this quote. It's not what you do once that changes your life. It's what you do every day. The big grand gestures are cool, but they aren't what actually shapes you. It's the little things you do day after day after day.
So what are the final takeaways here? It boils down to this. Stay consistent, stay patient, and when you put those two together, you become unstoppable. Simple as that.
Because at the end of the day, consistency builds greatness. It really does. Greatness isn't some magical thing you're born with. It's something you build, one boring, consistent brick at a time. So my question for you is, what brick are you going to lay today?